keeping that end goal in mind.
It always has to be.
Kept your focus and not let the small, trials and tribulations affect you. Yeah.
If you look inwardly, you're going to die.
Yeah.
You have to see where you're going to.
I'm in the big leagues, told her don't miss me. Ballin' like Houston, ayy, feeling like Whitney. I need a bag, bruh, send it through quickly. I'm making his dog, like I'm in the big leagues. Told him that I gotta go, dog. I'm riding a road job.
What is up, you absolute weapons? Welcome to the next episode. This is None of Your Business, a podcast that inspires future generations to build their dreams one day at a time. My name is Calvin Branson, and I'll be sitting down with entrepreneurs from all walks of life to talk about their successes, failures, and how to make an impact. On the pod today, we are joined by Rolf. He has always had a deep-rooted passion for music, which almost led to him failing high school. In today's episode, we chat about how he went from handyman work to owning a full-time music academy. What is your business? What do you do today?
M&M is in the educational and commercial side of the performing arts and music industry. Our main focus is education for students that want to obtain their matric with us. So you can obtain your matric with us in music, dance, or theatre. And then we also offer post-matric studies for those same subjects. And then we run the commercial side. We run sort of like a commercial recording studio. We've got a commercial cafe and theatre.
What would you say your estimated net worth is at the moment?
Well, in all reality, at this point in time, it's zero because we've got everything invested into this business. All of our wealth and money is all pumped into the business. You've invested everything into the business. Everything's invested into the business.
Okay. So how did things get going with the company? What were the beginning stages and things you needed to get started?
The idea came from a dream. I had a dream one night about starting a music academy.
Like a literal dream?
A literal dream, yeah. Okay. So I was working for another company at the time, but I was a part-time musician. I'd been playing drums for a couple of years prior to that. And I had this dream about an academy. I didn't act on it. And then my wife, Michelle, came to me 3 days later and she said, she had a dream about an academy. I thought, wow, that's interesting. Yeah.
So you both had the dream without
we
having
had both the dream
before.
without discussing it 3 days
That's
apart.
Unreal.
So we thought to ourselves, why don't we start a music academy? So we sold our house, bought a piece of land, built a building, and started the academy. And at that stage, we only had one classroom, one teacher. But he was a multifaceted teacher, so he could do a couple of instruments. He did bass, guitar, and piano. Okay. So I thought, that's a good deal. Now I can offer 3 different subjects just of one guy. And
he must have been working to the bone.
Yeah, he was. In the early stages of any business, you got to get people to know about you. And so it started growing. And then as that started growing, we added a vocal teacher. And wherever the demand, we could see where the demand was coming from. People were phoning in and saying, do you offer vocal lessons or guitar, or whatever the case may be. And so we started growing in that. And then there was a stage where we had to start separating the instruments into specialized teachers. So instead of just one person just doing multiple things.
As things expanded.
Yeah, and that's how we did that.
And so you said the initial investment that came from selling your house.
Yes.
So did you guys just move into somewhere smaller while you got things going with the...
Yeah, what we actually did was we built a double-story, purpose-built double-story. We lived upstairs and we had the school running downstairs. And I suppose in our naivety, we thought, after 2 years, we'd buy another house and move into that, but it just didn't work out like that. Yeah, we ended up being 17 years above our business.
Okay. So that leads on to my next question. So what kind of returns have you seen on it? Or rather in the beginning, wait, how long did you say you've had the
17 years.
17 years. So in the beginning, you expected after 2 years to buy another house.
Yeah.
So were your returns on your investments a bit slower than you expected then, I'm guessing?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah. So we only broke into profit after 3 years.
Okay.
So for the first 3 years, we put money in. So we canceled all of our insurance policies. We put all of that money in. We had a bit of a home loan. Yeah. So, we had that running. And then when things really started getting tight, I started doing sort of DIY work in the morning. Mm-hmm. So I'd go out in the morning, I'd lay floors or build cupboards or put in air conditioners just to get some extra cash in, and then build the academy in the afternoons.
Yeah.
But my type of personality, I don't enjoy that. I like to focus on what I want to do. And I just found it so disruptive in the morning. I was a handyman, and then I had to change my mindset for the afternoon to become a owner of a music school, and I really, really did not enjoy that. Yeah. And then after about a year and a half of doing that, I spoke to Michelle. I said, either something's got to give. Either we're going to shut this down or it's got to go into profit. And then I stopped the handyman work and we started going into profit. So
was there something you did different to get it into profits? That's shifted the gears?
Yeah, I started looking overseas. So this is around about 2006, somewhere around there. I started looking overseas for a curriculum of some sort. I was quite interested in a broad-based curriculum. And I managed,
that you could offer to your students.
That we could offer to our students. And already at that stage, I was thinking full-time academy.
Yeah. Okay, so you had that big goal in mind.
I had that big goal.
Way early. Yeah.
Yeah, very much so. And I managed to find an organization in the UK called Nexus. And I sent the owner an email and he responded with some questions and we started sort of like talking like that. And then eventually, after a couple of months, he flew out from the UK and came to spend some days with me. And it was amazing. He just became like a mentor in my life. And he started speaking into my life and showing me how to run an academy. And I suppose with just knowing that I had someone that I could speak to and ask questions about the business, I think it started changing my mindset that certain things are possible if you focused on particular areas of it.
Yeah.
And so I started applying wisdom and knowledge that he was giving me. And that's where we started seeing the shift coming.
Sure.
And going into profit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not too bad though. You thought after 2 years you'd buy a new house, but after 3 years you were seeing profits.
Yeah,
so
that's correct.
That's decent. Yeah. And so obviously in starting anything and owning any kind of company or any kind of, personal pursuit, you're going to encounter challenges and things that are going to, block you or make you stumble a little bit along the way. And I'm sure you're thinking of some even as I'm saying this. So do you mind sharing some of those with us?
Yeah. So now in the new setup, progressing from what we were to what we are today, 2021, as everyone knows, the biggest challenge has been COVID. When this building was being built we started in 2019, August of 2019.
Yeah.
It was planned for a year, just short of a year to build the building. And we were running ahead of schedule. And then COVID hit. And then obviously the building that we were going to get around about July, August, we only got in November. Now, if you think about it, if someone's going to join you full time and you're trying to attract high school students, they have to give their current schools a term's notice.
Yeah.
We only got the building in November.
Yeah.
So the term is already running. So from that aspect, it was massively challenging. How do we deal with this? How do we get students in for our program? I don't know. By God's grace, if you want to say that, we managed to sign up 18 people.
Sure.
In such a short time period, from November to January, we managed to get the bulk of our students. But then as the year starts running on in our business, you can't sign up any more high school students because the year's running. It's not like a traditional academic school where you can just bounce from one school that's offering caps to another school that's offering caps. Ours is a unique environment that we run according to the year. So once the year's running, after about March or so, it's not possible for us to take new students in for that year. So for me, that's the biggest challenge, is that you have to be able to get all of your students by March.
Yeah.
After that, you can't recruit anyone.
You can get part-time though, right?
You can get
you're
part-time.
Just referring to the full-time. Is the full-time where you'd say is the most, I guess, profitable, or where you'd want to focus the most, right? The full-time students.
So that's our core. That's our strength in terms of income, because that those students now are with you for at least 1 to 3 years.
So you got their commitment.
So we got their commitment and we got their income from that. The part-time students flutter in and out. Some have stayed years,
So COVID, you'd say, is one of the biggest challenges you face in the past 17
And that followed by cash flow.
Yeah.
Cash flow is king.
Fair enough. Have you ever sat back and felt like you've made it? We're here in this new facility. Yeah. I'm sure you might have had a moment where you're like, wow, this dream, literal dream that you had and your wife had.
Sure.
You kind of, did you sit back and realize, wow, we brought this into fruition? Or if you haven't felt like you've sat back and been like, I've made it, what would that look like? What I mean? What would it look like to be, this is the end goal or the ultimate goal for M&M or just for what you want out of life?
So I suppose there's two aspects to the question. The one is, yes, coming into the facility, it's been a dream for over 12 years, finally walking through the doors and seeing that, it's like overwhelming. And I suppose there is an aspect of, wow, we've made it. But we've made it just in terms of been able to secure a facility now where we go to the next stage of being able to offer so much more. So in our previous facility, we were restricted in terms of classroom space or whatever the case may be. Now we've got space. Now we can actually start moving into the next zone. So I suppose it's like standing in the doorway and looking into this, theater or amphitheater or foyer area, and you see all of this space, all of this opportunity. So yes, from one aspect, you feel, okay, I didn't make it. I'm in the building, but now I've got another journey to start.
Got some things I need to make happen. Yeah,
exactly.
We need to fill the room, kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the whole new thing opens up, and I suppose one day when we get to a stage where that is operational the way we want it, we would most probably be looking at additional things. So I don't think you ever get to a stage where you say you've made it.
Yeah, fair enough. If there was one thing you could have done differently, would there have been anything you would have done differently if you could have, that you think could have changed? I mean, I'm sure you're not unhappy with where things are now, because look at this place, it's amazing. But just, sometimes maybe there's a decision you think you could have made different that would have changed things in a better trajectory, maybe could have got things done quicker. Is there anything you can think of? I guess any regrets?
No regrets, definitely no regrets. And I'm happy with the way things are working out. I mean, I'm surrounded by an amazing team of people, really people that are really skilled, that have been professionals in the industry, and they've come and joined us. So from that aspect, I'm happy with everything. I think personally for me, the only thing is, if I can give someone advice, is try to secure as much cash flow as you can, especially in the beginning stages, because you move from a phase of creativity to a phase of survival.
Yeah, doing what you can instead of what you want to do. Yeah,
exactly.
Okay.
So I must probably say, if there's one regret I have, it's we need more cash flow.
More cash flow.
Every new business needs more cash flow.
That's not always in your control, though, right? No. Obviously, like it's
No.
you sometimes just have the hand you've been dealt, or it's sometimes difficult to secure cash flow. You can't,
Well, people, when you've got a dream about something, people are on board and think it's amazing, it's wonderful. Yeah, this is great. But what I found was when it turned into reality, and because it takes a long time to make things happen. The wheel does turn slowly. By the time you get to that stage of, now we've done what we've spoken about, all of those people have disappeared.
Yeah. It sounded nice, but now that it's happening.
Yeah, and it's not purposeful. Their life has taken another move. So I suppose you felt you had so much strength because you had so many people encouraging you and saying, yeah, this is a great idea. But when it happens, ultimately at the end of the day, you stand on your own.
Yeah.
And you do make new friends or you do make new partners, but ultimately on your own.
Yeah.
And being on your own and being in a situation where cash flow might be a concern or something like that, takes its toll in terms of creativity. So you need to, I suppose, start thinking out of the box quickly, as opposed to strategically always. But in saying that, everyone that started a new business has had something like that where they've really gone through a challenging time. It toughens you up. It makes you think more efficiently.
So genuinely, would you say you're happy right now?
Completely.
Very happy.
If I had to do it again, knowing that there was COVID, knowing all the challenges, I'd do it again because I see the end picture. I'm not focusing on what we're going through now. I'm seeing what we're going to become. I'm seeing what the students are going to walk away with.
Yeah.
I'm seeing the connections now that I'm being exposed to, which I never did in the smaller facility. It's like elevating yourself above the general mill of what's going on. You elevate yourself and other more influential people now start seeing you as opposed to just being part of the crowd.
So keeping that end goal in mind,
it always has to be
kept your focus and not let the small, trials and tribulations affect you. Yeah.
If you look inwardly, you're going to die.
Yeah.
You have to see where you're going to.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
And so, lastly, I know you already kind of gave a little bit of advice about cash flow, but if there was one message you'd like to give to a young or new entrepreneur, someone looking to start something of their own, it could be that kid in his room who has this big idea or has a dream.
Yeah.
What would that message be that you'd want to give to them?
Well, for the kid in the bedroom, I'd say pursue your dream. Even if your parents are giving you other advice, if this is something that's really deep within inside of you, I would say you need to honor that. Otherwise, that's never going to go away. That feeling's never going to go away. So keep your focus on it and go for it. Go for it. Even if it seems very challenging, I would say go for it. For someone who's a little bit older and is already in some form of a business, I would say you need to seek out a business mentor, someone who's been down the road before you, someone who has experience, someone who can speak to you and give you advice. There's so much that gets said just in a conversation. They might just say one word that really just changes your life forever. And I was fortunate enough to find someone that could help me with the negotiation of our new building. I didn't have the experience, and he was able to help me with that. And when it came to the stage of working out what the rentals and the payback would be, it was astronomical. I mean, it cost more than my first house, a monthly rental. And it was like, wow, man, how am I going to do this? And he just said to me, Rolf, look, you can't put a value to it. You just got to remember it's just a number. You just got to make sure that the number that's coming into your business is bigger than the number going out. And when I got the perspective of that, when I removed the value aspect of it and realized that it was just a figure that I was working with, it helped me embrace what we needed to honor in terms of our rental agreements and so forth. So, the best advice I can give is try to find a business mentor. When they're speaking into your life and you think, well, man, this guy's standing on my toes, don't argue with them. They're there to help you. Just hear what they have to say. They've been down the road before you. They're successful. You want to get where they are already. Yeah. And I think there's a lot of value in just opening up and listening to what they have to say.
But yeah, thank you so much. Hopefully we can have you on the show again, a couple months down the line.
Sure.
See how things have developed, what's changed, what's new. That's it for this week's episode of None of Your Business. Thank you so much for watching and listening. You can support the show by following our socials at None of Your Business Pod on Instagram and TikTok and subscribing to our YouTube channel. I appreciate the love, and I'll see you guys next week, Monday at 5 o'clock South African time.